Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be making a Pac-Man game in Scratch part 2. So today we're going to be doing the ghosts. So let me show you. Those dots were stuff I was testing. But anyways, this ghost right here where I'm hovering my mouse, that is what we're going to be making. As you can see, it moves on its own and it changes direction depending on when the player changes direction, and that white dot, we're gonna hide it later, but that's how you do the collisions because I couldn't find a better way to do the collisions, and it also doesn't glitch through walls. So let's get started. So this is what you should have so far. You don't need this for video sprite, this is just my thumbnail template, but I added a border basically, so later when we make the dots or the food for Pacman, they're gonna clone off the screen, and we don't want to just have dots on the edge of the screen, so that's why I made the border, but you can make that later. So paint a new sprite or choose one, or just make a new sprite and you can call it ghosts, enemies, whatever you want. I'm gonna call it ghosts. And I have an image of a ghost, so I'm gonna get it really quick. Here it is. I'm just gonna be making one ghost for now, but we can make multiple ghosts later. So I'm just gonna convert this to vector, and it is really big, but that's fine. I'm just gonna name red. Yep, red. Okay. So anyways, now that we have our ghost, I'm going to set him to size 9. And, okay. So you can make him go to wherever you want. But when go clicked, let's set a spawn point for this ghost. Let's make him spawn over here. So when go clicked, go to this position, -149, and then Y32. So now that you have that, so we want to set size to 9, and then we want it to point in direction 90, and then forever just move 3 steps, or it doesn't have to be 3, just whatever speed your player moves at. But after we've got that, we want to edit the player code. So right here, we're gonna make a new message, and we're gonna call it player direction, I guess, direction, and then I'm gonna say Y for the Y's. So do this for the key up arrow and key down arrow, and yeah, that just happens. When you just click it, it starts, so that's why it started up button. So now make the same message except player direction X, and then just put it in the key left arrow pressed as well. So now in the ghosts, when I receive player direction X, make a block, call it pick direction X, and then you're gonna put the pick direction X here, and we'll code the blocks once we do the same for the Y, and you might have guessed it, but we want to pick another direction block. We want to make another pick direction block for the Y. So now we have the messages set up. So now let's define these blocks. So in the control, get an if else, and then get a not, and we actually want to make another variable, and we're gonna call it player direction. It's gonna be for all sprites. So now we want to go into the player again, and we want to set player direction to direction. So now if you show the player direction, you look down here, this is his direction, this is player direction up here as well, and every time he turns, the direction changes. So you can hide that variable. Now in the ghost, if not player direction equals 90, then we want to point in direction 90. And then in the else, we want to put point in direction -90. So basically the opposite direction. You can duplicate this for the pick direction Y, and then change the player direction at the top to 0, and then point in direction not negative 180, just 180. And oh yeah, if I did this wrong, just flip-flop these. Point, and then back here, point in direction 180 or point in direction 0. So now we have these, and it'll point in a random direction. It doesn't look the best right now, but it's fine. And also in the pick direction X, this is just to make the game look better, but you can set rotation style to left right here and set it to all around here. That just makes it a little bit better looking when it's left. So, and now that's pretty much it for the ghost sprite. Now you want to paint another sprite, well, not paint, but like make one, and you want to call it ghost collisions or something. Collider. I'm gonna call it the ghost collider, but you can call it whatever you want. We're gonna be using this for the ghost collisions, and if you're wondering why we can't just do this in the ghost sprite, it's because it messes up the directions, because it messes up the pick direction, because you could be turning at the same time the ghost gets collision, so the ghost just goes ham, goes crazy, and you don't want that. So I'm just gonna make a dot. I'm gonna make it 15. Just an 8x8 dot, I guess. Center it, and then grab a one goal clicked and a forever loop and a go to. Then in the operators, you want it to say not in the operators, sensing, you want to say exposition of ghosts and Y position of ghosts. So now it's just gonna go to the middle of the ghost, and we don't want that. So grab an if else, put an if else in the else, and then put an if else in that else. So it's like, it should look like this, where it's an if else, it's an if else, and an if else, and an if else. And then in this if else, put an if in the else, and not an if else in the if else, if that makes sense. Which probably doesn't. And we also don't want it to go to the middle of the ghost, so you can say exposition of ghost plus 15, and I don't want to click that. Now you can click it and it will be in front. But now we also want to get another one of these sensors and change it to direction, and then get an equals and put it in the top if else, and then it has to be 90 for this one, the one with exposition plus 15, and then you can duplicate it and then make it direction of ghost equals -90, and then x position of ghost plus -15. And then for the y, direction of ghost equals 0. And then for the last one, it's 180. Then you want to take the plus and put it onto the y position instead of the x position. Yeah, I'm sorry about all the blocks getting stuck under the giant thing. There's just so many if else's and blue and green and yeah. And then for the direction of ghost equals 0, you want to make a y position plus 50. So you could drag this into a forever loop, and then under all the if else's, all the way at the bottom, you want a point in direction of ghosts. And then under that, you want to say if touching maze, then broadcast the message ghost collision. So now you've broadcasted ghost collision, and then you can go to the ghost sprite, and then in the ghost sprite you want to say when I receive ghost collision, you want it to move -3 steps, and you want to say point in direction, and then grab a direction, and then a plus, point in direction plus 180, just like the player collision right here. And also you want to move -3 steps first, because you want it to move backwards first, because if you say this, then it'll turn backwards and then move -3 steps. So basically it'll be it'll just point in the opposite direction and move even more into the maze. So you want it the other way around. And if you do want to do it like this, you have to say move 3 steps. I'm just going to do it the way I did it for the Pacman. So now you have a ghost and it has collision. But you obviously don't want that white dot. So to get rid of that, you shouldn't hide it, because if you hide it, let me show you what happens. The ghost will not collide. So you do want to show it, but you want to set the ghost effect to 99.9%. So the ghost will collide and the dot won't be there. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.